Hello, and welcome to 8am Recap. Today's recap is about the latest Dwayne Johnson known as The Rock movie named Black Adam. The film opens in the land of Kahndaq in 2600 BC. While the land thrived for centuries, things changed when the tyrannical King Akhton took over and enslaved his people to mine a powerful material called Eternium. Akhton's real goal was to forge the crown of Sabbac in the hopes of achieving the power of a monstrous demon. An elder man finds Eternium, and is hounded for it by other slaves in hopes of being rewarded by the king. Only then a boy comes there to help the man get free and tell the people to remember who their real enemy is. He helps the man deliver the Eternium to one of the king's soldiers. But instead of a reward, the elder man is stabbed and thrown off a cliff. The soldier then moves to kill the boy, but his father pulls him away. The boy says he wants to be free, and if they fight together they could overthrow the king. His father urges him not to try and be a hero. The boy then grabs the Eternium from the soldier and runs off with it, but is eventually caught and sentenced to death. When he is about to be executed, his body vanishes as he appears before the Council of Wizards, who choose the boy as their champion and give him the powers of Shazam. However, the legend states that the champion confronted Akhton and destroyed him and his palace before vanishing forever. In the present day, Kahndaq has fallen under the rule of an international mercenary team called Intergang. But legend says whenever Kahndaq needs him most, the champion will return and restore freedom to the people. Intergang is currently looking for an archaeologist and fugitive named Adriana Tomaz, but with the help of Adriana's son Aman, she passes through a security checkpoint with her brother Kareem, plus companions Samir and Ishmael Gregor. Aman then meets them and says he wants to join them, but Adriana asks him to go home and that his time will come one day. Later, we see that Adriana has Eternium in her locket, but it's unrefined. Samir asks her where did she get it, to which she says her grandmother gave it to her. The team arrives at a cave, where Adriana hopes to find the crown of Sabbac for research purposes. Only then Adriana realizes that Ishmael is not with them, and Samir says he will find him. Now while Kareem is waiting in the van, Samir's body falls off a cliff. He runs out to check on him, and only then do Intergang mercs show up. Here Ishmael comes back to Adriana, and they continue their research. They get the story of the slave who became the champion, which convinces Adriana that the legend is true. Soon after, they find the crown of Sabbac, and as Adriana manages to acquire the crown, Intergang ambushes them. Adriana tries to escape, but the lead merc holds a gun to Kareem's head, and forces her to give up the crown. Adriana then begins to read the inscription in the cave, awakening Kahndaq's supposed champion, Taith Adam. One of the mercs goes to check on him, but gets killed by him. They then try to attack him, but Adam rises in the air, and then swiftly torn apart them one by one. Ishmael tries to get the crown but finds the box empty, and then the cave begins to collapse with him supposedly perishing. Adriana sees Adam destroying the mercs, after which she escapes with Kareem. Now in the car, she shows the crown to Kareem, and meanwhile, Adam proceeds to slaughter more mercs in choppers and tanks. He then finds Adriana and Kareem, and as he approaches their van, a rocket made of Eternium is fired at him, wounding him when it explodes. He kills the merc, and tries to fly away, but falls, and is taken in by Adriana. Ishmael turns out to be alive, as he is leading Intergang and wanted to get the crown for himself. He tells the other agents to locate Adriana. Meanwhile, superhero Hawkman speaks to Amanda Waller about Adam's awakening and the chaos he left behind. She enlists him to gather his team, the Justice Society of America, Cyclone, who can control wind and sound, Atom Smasher, who has a suit that can make him grow, which he inherited from his uncle, and Dr. Fate, who wears a helmet that shows him and gives him powers of sorcery. While touching the helmet, Fate sees a vision of destruction and what appears to be Hawkman being killed. They then fly off in their jet to Kahndaq to bring Adam to Waller. Adam wakes up in the bedroom of Adriana's son Aman, who is obsessed with superheroes and is excited to meet the champion of Kahndaq. He tells him that he was in the tomb for 5,000 years. He is a Bronze Age Kandaki demigod, who defeated King Akhton in approximately 2600 BC. Ever since he left, their country has been oppressed by one invader after another, and Kahndaq still isn't free. Adam walks through the wall into another room. He then asks Adriana if she woke him. She says they want a champion to help free Kondak from Intergang. Adam flies into the city and sees a statue of the champion. Aman also reaches there and he grabs an Intergang merc's radio and informs them that Kondak has its own official superhero now. The merc starts chasing him and catches him, which draws Adam's attention to him. Adriana reaches there to save Aman, but the merc recognizes her and asks her where is the crown. Adriana tries to escape there, and only then Adam reaches there, and he begins to lay into the mercs, which in turn gets the attention of the Justice Society. Adam also sees them and drops the mercs. Hawkman and Fate exit their jet to save two mercs that Adam dropped, but as Hawkman safely lands them on the land, Adam kills them. He says he doesn't look like an Intergang, to which Hawkman says they are Justice Society and they are here to restore peace to Kondak. Fate then enters the scene and says there is no place for him in the world of man. He gives him choices of kneel or die. Adam battles the two and he gives a tough fight to Hawkman, before Cyclone enters the picture. She tries to attack and capture Adam, but he very easily breaks free. Meanwhile, touching Adriana's bag, Fate has a vision and he learns that she has the crown of Sabak. After this, he takes multiple of his forms to catch Adam, and Hawk and Cyclone try to attack him, but here Adam enters the God mode and there is a huge explosion. He then rises to destroy the Justice Society, but then Adam comes there and knocks him down. They think they have defeated Adam, but in no time Adam rises back and knocks the Adam down. He then sees that the people of Kondak are chanting "Long live the champion" for him, after which he flies away from there. Kent then goes to Adriana and tells Hawkman that she has the crown. Adriana confronts the Justice Society, and tells them that none of them bothered to help Kondak the whole time that Intergang was taking over, and Adam is the first person to give the mercs what they deserve, but Hawkman doesn't think they need to be killed to be brought to justice. He says Adam is not what she is thinking. They have learned from secret ancient texts that Adam's rage nearly destroyed Kondak. Adriana finds Adam, and speaks to him about what she has learned from the Justice Society regarding his true story. Adam's confrontation with Octun was said to be out of revenge, and when he unleashed his power to kill the king, it went out of control and destroyed not only Octun and his forces, but a large part of Kondak. The wizards then imprison Adam in the cave where Adriana found him. Adam says he never claimed to be a hero, to which she says that doesn't mean he can't be one now. Meanwhile, Aman reaches home, and finds Ishmael in their apartment. He asks him where is Adriana, but aims his gun at Aman and Kareem since he knows they have the crown. He asks Aman to put the bag down and finds the crown in it. Kareem fights Ishmael long enough for Aman to try and get away, but Kareem is shot. The Justice Society shows up in an attempt to bring Adam in, but he denies it. Only then Adriana receives a call from Aman, who tells her that Ismail is back. He shot Kareem and is after the crown. Adriana asks Adam to save his son, and he flies away from there. The Intergang mercs go after Aman until Adam shows up to deliver another beatdown. Ishmael grabs Aman, but finds that there is no crown in his bag. He then flies away on a hoverbike with Aman, and Adam goes after them, along with the Justice Society. He destroys many bikes in the process, and chases the last bike, but finds that Aman is not in that. And here we see Ishmael escapes in a truck. Everyone regroups at the apartment, where Fate has tended to Kareem's wound. Fate also tells Adriana not to blame herself for Intergang killing her husband. Only then Adam breaks into the house, and then the Hawkman reaches there with two mercs to interrogate them for information, but Adam flies away with both of them and tries to threaten them for info. He drops one of them, and when Hawkman goes to save him, the other one says that Ishmael is headed to a mine before Adam drops him too. Adam comes back and tells Adriana that Aman is at the Intergang's mine at the desert. Hawkman comes back saving those two prisoners, and Adam and he gets into a fight after disagreeing over their methods of handling business, trashing their way through the apartment until they find the crown hidden in Aman's room. On their way to the mine, Adriana and Cyclone try to decipher the writing on the crown. Adriana interpreted it as life is the only path to death. Later, Ken tells Carter about his vision, but expresses hope that there is still time to change the future. Now while Hawkman is explaining to them the plan of how they are going to deal with Intergang and save Aman, they notice that Adam is already out of the jet into the mine and destroying the mercs. They all then enter the base and find Ishmael and Aman, the former having been counting on Adam showing up with the crown. Adriana is forced to give it up for Aman's life, and here he reveals that he is the last living descendant of King Octun, and they have just given him everything he needs to become the next king of Kondak. He says when Herod died, he went like a baby, and here he says death is the only path to life. Ishmael then attempts to shoot the boy anyway before donning the crown. But Adam manages to fly fast enough to catch the bullet, but his powers explode, frying Ishmael to a crisp, but Hawkman protects Adriana with his wings, Fate shields Amon, and Smasher saves Cyclone from the blast. After seeing the extent of his destruction and causing Amon to be wounded, Adam tries to fly away. Hawkman asks the other to find the crown and goes behind Adam, and forced to divulge his backstory after Ishmael had mentioned the name Herod. Adam explains that Herod was the true champion of Kondak, and was also his son. But after his parents were attacked by Octun's assassins with Adam's wife being killed, Herod gave Adam his powers to save his life, instead of battling the king. Sadly, the assassins hit Herod with an arrow, causing Adam to become enraged and go after Octun with no mercy. And the statue is actually of Herod, and not of him. Realizing he brings more devastation than protection, Adam says Shazam and gives up his powers, willingly allowing the Justice Society to bring him in. He then says that some men are not meant to be heroes. Fate and Hawkman hand over Adam to Amelia Harcourt, where they submerge him, so he won't be able to speak. Later, Fate gets the same vision and tells Hawkman that his vision hasn't changed. Hawkman asks him what is his helmet showing, to which he says it's showing him a great calamity, they can stop it, but he dies. Meanwhile, Adriana and Cyclone understand that the inscription written on the crown is death is the only part to life. Ishmael kidnaps Amon on purpose because he knew that Adam would kill him. Ishmael is in hell and is found by the demons that name him as their champion, and turn him into Sabbac to unleash hell on earth. He speaks their name Sabbac, and emerges as a sizable red-horned demon, and proceeds to rise an army from hell to terrorize Kondak. The Justice Society tries to fight, but he attacks them and throws their jet away. They then battle him to stop him, but are easily outmatched. The superheroes arrive at the ruins of Octun's palace. Fate shields Hawkman, Cyclone, and Smasher from entering. He says he didn't tell him his whole vision. He did see his death, but also found a way to prevent it. He then says goodbye to him and flies away. Fate then battles Sabbac, but uses his powers to contact Adam and get him to wake up and emerge from his pod. The team there tries to stop him, but he fights back, and as he tries to swim out, he falls unconscious. Here Sabbac defeats Fate, causing the protection wall to break, and when Justice Society reaches there, Sabbac attacks Fate, eventually finishing him. Sabbac then proceeds to command the legions of Hells, and the Justice Society charges to stop him, but they fail. Meanwhile, Kareem and Adriana fight the legions, and Adam sees a vision of his wife and Herod greeting him, as he believes he is ready to rejoin them. Herod then tells Adam that it is not his time. Adam manages to make it to the surface and says Shazam to get his powers back. Here Sabbac destroys the statue of Herod, and it is about to fall on Amon, but Adam reaches there on time and saves him. Adam then holds the statue, and Adam flies to Sabbac to save Hawkman. Now with Hawkman's approval, Adam taps into his killer instincts to fight Sabbac, ending with him grabbing the villain by his horns and splitting him in two, which also causes the undead to be wiped out. After this, Adam says he is here only because of Fate. Hawkman picks up his helmet, and then it flies into particles. Adam parts ways with the Justice Society, while the people of Kondak chant Long live the champion. He sits on Octun's throne, but then chooses to destroy it, vowing to be the protector of Kondak. He also tells Adriana that Taith Adam is too old-fashioned, and that he will now be known as Black Adam. Mid-credits scene, Adam is found by a drone sent by Waller. She warns him to stay in line, or she will send forces after him. Adam challenges her to do so, and then blows up the drone. From the smoke, a figure descends from the sky. He approaches Adam and tells him they need to talk. He steps out from the smoke, revealing none other than the last son of Krypton, Superman.